Going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. So today, training camp day 12. Actually, the last practice before these guys going to get into their preseason schedule. They're not done with training camp yet, but it is the last practice before they start getting to games. And we're gonna start getting some a little clarity on some of these guys and what this roster might look like moving forward. So, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in here and talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, like, first of all, I want to say I love the fact that a lot of the old vets for the Atlanta Falcon coming back and looking at this team and enjoying what this team is actually is about this year. Today we had Michael Vick there. Go back and look at some of his what he had to say about this team. You know, just a transition, of course, from Matty Ice going into a new regime. Um, I don't think it's necessarily a rebuild. Yes, we got a young squad, but I think these guys trying to compete this year and trying to build a culture. So you can look at a rebuild if you want to, but I don't see it that way. I see it more as a retool, and let's see what we can actually get accomplished with trying to create some kind of identity. So, like I said, I like the fact that a lot of guys are coming back this year and just coming in, look at these new little Falcons, and give them some inspiration. Um, Michael Vick, one of our ring honor guys. So, what I want to talk about today is pretty much not so much to talk about the practice today, just talk about the preseason game and what we actually going to be looking for on Friday. And with these first time looking at these guys play another team, um, you know, and actually some competition. No, it's preseason, but at the same time, we're going up against another team. These guys been going against each other for the last, like we say, 12 days. So it's about time to go up against another team. And some of the things I'm gonna be looking for, I hope you guys are too. And you just go down this list real quick. And at the end, guys, you let me know. Just leave your comments and stuff or some of the things you might look for if you thought I left something off. So the first thing I'm gonna be looking for is our two quarterbacks. Our first new two look quarterbacks. We got two new quarterbacks coming in. Um, Definitely want to see the command that Marcus Mariota has. See if he's ready to actually fill in that starting role that we all think that he's going to be able to do. But I'm definitely want to look at both of these quarterbacks. I want to see if Desmond Ritter can pick up on the speed of the game. I think he's going to play a lot more than Marcus Mariota. So we get to get a good look at Desmond Ritter and see his command, see how he can actually run this team. Of course, guys, like I said, third round pick. We're not needing him to start this year, but if he can show something for us and show us that he has potential to actually be face of a franchise or something like that, that'd be good for us. But the two quarterbacks, what I want to see, just being able to run the offense, being able to complete passes accurately, not seem like they showing they have some command. The things they've been showing us in training camp, if they can do that, I think we'll all be pleased with both of those quarterbacks. Definitely want to look at our revamp receiver core, right? We definitely we all know that we only brought two receivers back from last year. That's Alumdace Kids and Frank Darby. So I definitely want to look at our revamp receiver core. But interesting enough, I really just want to look at some of the young guys. Of course, you want to see Drake London and see if he's living up to the stuff that he's been doing in training camp as well, going up against another team, seeing that he can be able to still show the things that he's been showing us in training camp, going up against AJ Terrell every day. Hopefully, he has learned and put some stuff in his toolbox to be able to go out there and perform against some of these other corners. I definitely want to see Frank Darby. Frank Darby definitely did not get a lot of reps as a receiver last year. I like his attitude at practice. I love his motivation, but at the same time, you got to be able to play. So I think he's one of those fringe guys. But to me, Frank Darby got to be able to show what he's able to do this actually preseason. And if he don't, Frank Darby can definitely be on the outside looking in. I love his body type, but we don't really know what to expect from Frank Darby because we didn't get to see a lot of him last year. So Frank Darby is another guy I'm looking for. And then the other two guys, definitely Stanley Berryhill. I think from his standpoint that he's been putting a lot of good stuff on film. I just want to see if that's going to translate against some good NFL competition. Hopefully he get in with the twos at least, and we can be able to see what he can do. And then the guy from lacrosse, Jared Barnhart, as well. Just want to look at those two guys. Barnhart is definitely an athlete, transitioning from lacrosse to playing in football, NFL, being a receiver. It's a big transition for him, but I definitely want to see what he's going to be able to do. So from our new look revamped receivers, that's what I want to see, those young guys, the Drake London, the Frank Darby, Berryhill, and Barnhart. So that's what I want to see. Definitely want to see Felipe Franks. We've been hyping him up all um, training camp. So we want to see at tight end. Of course, I want to see if he can actually still look natural, being able to start to take hits from actually football players that's trying to take him to the ground. See if he's scared to go across the middle because he is a big dude, but he's a quarterback first. So we want to see if he's actually can do some of the things that he's been showing in training camp, and see if he actually stick at being the athletic tight end. That transition from quarterback to a tight end. Of course, you definitely want to see our running backs. Um, Not really too much concerned about our veterans, guys like a Cardell Patterson and Damian Williams, but I want to see Tyler Algier 100%. I want to see what he lives up to, breaking all those tackles that he did when he was in college, and then I want to see Caleb Huntley as well, a young guy that was undrafted last year that was on our practice squad. I want to see how much improvement he has his second year in this system. He's another big body running back. So I know we get a little duplication with him and Tyler Algier, but I definitely want to see both of those running backs. And then last but not least, from an offensive standpoint, you want to see the offensive line, particular that left guard and that center. We know right now that Wilkerson is probably going to get that starting nod at left guard, but we're going to see if Jaylen Mayfield actually gets some playing time because he had a lower back injury. See if he's actually going to be able to do a little, get some play time this week to see that competition, to see how those guys fare. And then of course that center position, who's actually going to start centers, is going to be Drew Dahlman or Matt Hennessy, and then see how they can command the offensive line and help out our two new little quarterbacks that we have. So um, that's of course going into a training camp. Those were some of the storylines. Offensive line was one of the biggest storylines that we had. Of course, the quarterback, our new look receiver. So these are some of the things from offensive standpoint that we definitely want to be able to look at. All right, let's go to the defense. Just sum it up for the defense. I just want to be able to see that front seven, those D line, those outside linebackers, and those inside linebackers. Want to see what Evan Katie can do. See what D'Angelo Malone, so he can show that burst, that quick step that he got off the line. I want to see what Tyquan Graham looks like on that starting lineup next to Grady and Anthony Rush. I want to see guys like Quentin Bell as well. Another depth piece that we can actually have at outside linebacker position. So I want to see what Carter is going to do as well. Um, him and Okendeji. So we want to see those outside linebackers. But more importantly, what I really want to see, I want to see how Troy Anderson is going to play in live action. See if he's actually can utilize that speed and that recognition that we need for him being an inside linebacker. See how much growth that Micah Walker had actually grown over from last season to now, because he's getting that starting position. So that's what I want to see from that front seven, those linebacker positions. Of course, we know what to expect from these veterans like Nick Kukowski and Rashawn Evans, but those young linebackers from the inside, we definitely want to see with them. Even a young man like Nate Lamy, want to see if he can ever. He was a big hitter in college. See if he can ever live up to that with the speed of the game. And then last but not least, Of course, from the secondary, we want to see those two young safeties, Richard Grant and Jaylen Hawkins, and see how they look in that starting lineup going against other competition. These guys have been starting the whole training camp, but now you actually got to go out and put it on the field and see if you're able to perform. And then at the end, you want to see the depth at cornerback and at your safety position. So guys like Cornell Strong, Mike Ford, D. Alford, Dean Marlowe. Of course, you have that veteran Harris back there as well. So things like that. Darren Hall, we want to be able to see his growth from year one to year two. So those are things that we definitely want to be able to see from a defensive standpoint. And then, of course, special team. We cannot forget special teams. Every week last year when I talked about special teams, you always got to put special teams on there. Special team, people forget about it, but it changed the field. You can make big plays on special teams. You can get turnovers. You can score. Of course, field goals are important. But when we talk about special teams, I definitely want to see what Avery Williams is going to be able to do in a return game. And of course, I want to see what he's going to do as a running back as well. But specifically for him, he need to make sure he's winning that return job because it's definitely going to make sure he makes the roster in the kickoff game and the return game. So that's what you want to be able to see from a guy like Avery Williams. So guys, those are the things that I want to see coming out of this first week of training camp. In the end, we want to see those guys show that competitiveness, that competition that they had all training camp. We want to see that 100%. We want to be able to see the intensity that they showed all training camp. We want to be able to see that the attitude they had when they were about to fight each other out on the field and the offense in the trenches, right? We want to be able to see that. So those are things we want to be able to see. We're going up against the Detroit Lions where, they bite kneecaps off. So we need to be careful with that and make sure we stay healthy and protect the team. But, guys, that's all I got. I would definitely like to know what you guys would like to see going into our first preseason game here at Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And this is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.